Man, I tell you what, filming this, or well, I should say trying to film this, has been a roller coaster. From yesterday, just being a shitty day and me not wanting to bringing myself to do it because I wanted to play Guitar Hero, but I can't justify doing something fun unless I do something productive. It's kind of destructive. Nonetheless, bringing myself to do it. And then today, going to edit it and realizing it looked like complete shit. I really considered putting out another coffee challenge. That's how desperate I was for a slight second. But enough of me bitching. You don't care about that. You want the video. Oh, by the way, for everyone who comments about my teeth, believe me, I get it. But when you drink as much Red Bull and coffee as I do, there's not much you can do. I give up so much in calories, so I'm not willing to give up that just so my teeth look fucking bright as the sun. There you go. There's your answers if you were curious. Let me live. Today's video is about this person. This person is on steroids in high school, winning state wrestling championships. And that's perfectly acceptable because their gender identity. Welcome to America 2017, everybody. So I'm struggling to understand in the first place why someone who is literally on steroids, taking tests as part of their transformation or whatever the hell, fucking Autobots, is allowed to compete in a high school sport. Mac Beggs, originally Mackenzie Beggs, born a woman, and decided that by some miracle that just wasn't accurate, is now in the process of becoming a man, and has been for 2 years. She's been taking tests for 2 years. People on social media use the pronoun he when referring to her, but she competed in the women's division and the state still considers her a woman, and as I mentioned in another video, I get off on legalities, so it's a she. Maybe that's triggering, maybe I don't give a fuck. Now you might have seen something about this already. It's a fairly popular story, news articles, Twitter. I think Joe Rogan kind of went off on it a little bit. 1 second while I murder one of these. Yep, there you go. So this is a complete mess from left, right, up, down, side to side, diagonal, across, in, out, however you want to put it. Like shaking the mustard bottle when the top isn't on right kind of mess. Like protein shaker when the top isn't pushed down properly mess. If you've been in that situation where you're shaking your protein, it just goes all over the place because it's not closed properly, I feel you. But basically, she won a championship because she's on gear and she's wrestling other girls who have never touched cell tech in their life.
Help me! Help me! Nigga!
Now, I think most of my audience is from the fitness industry, but if you're not, cell tech, if you didn't know, is just an inside joke for chicken and rice. To her credit, she said she wants to wrestle boys, which is how it should be, but the state requires her to wrestle what's on her birth certificate. This is insane though. This person in the state pretty much stole a championship from Chelsea Sanchez, if I'm not mistaken, is the girl she beat in the final. Don't quote me on that though, because these articles aren't too clear on that. 56-0. That's quite an impressive record. Or I mean, at least it would be if she wasn't on fucking steroids. It's almost hard to articulate my opinions on this, because in every single sense, this just should have never happened, ever. There's not a teenager on this planet that should be on gear in the first place, in my opinion. I mean, I don't care if you're a 16-year-old Arnold. I don't care if you're an aspiring bodybuilder. I don't care if you're someone like this person who's just trying to grow a dick. If you can't buy a pack of smokes at Walmart, why should you be allowed to be injected with drugs? I mean, if furthermore, by default, even if this is okay by the state that this 17-year-old is taking drugs, she should not be allowed to compete in any female high school sports. Any. I don't care if it's basketball, baseball, football, wrestling, fucking golf. I mean, she's probably on a TRT dose, like 200, maybe 300 milligrams a week a test. But people have no idea, and they underestimate what kind of advantage even that could give someone. No less a female high school student wrestling other female high school students. Like, look at how her delts and her forearms are. Right? I mean, she's not huge or ripped by any means, but she really does look like an underdeveloped boy, which is still much more developed than the girl she's wrestling. A quote from her after winning: "I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for my teammates. That's honestly what the spotlight should be on, is my teammates. The hard work that I put in the practice room with them beside me. We train every single day, and that's what the spotlight should be been on. Not me. Is it?" That's copy and paste from the article. That's not me being retarded. Now, if you watch my unpopular opinion video on steroids, You know that I'm not one to discredit people who use gear, but this isn't some female bodybuilder just trying to make herself look better, or some Instagram fit chick on Anavar trying to sell you tea. This is a high school student competing against other high school students, and she would not be in the position she is right now if it hadn't been for the gear. It's not something she started recently either. She's been on, like I said, what I'm assuming is a TRT dose for 2 years, since 2015. She's been taking tests. I mean, are we really underestimating a TRT dose here? Does anybody recall TRT Vitor Belfort?
85 pounds. Spinning kick. Look at how he looked at the target. This isn't luck. He was looking at the...
That's what I thought. Now, I know it isn't particularly her fault. She wants to wrestle boys, but the state isn't allowing that. And all I'm saying is, if she's responsible and mature enough to decide that she wants to change her gender, then she should be mature and responsible enough to just step back and say, alright, well, this is totally unfair. I'm just not going to compete. And that would be the appropriate course of action here. I don't care if you love the sport. I don't care if the sport is your passion. If you want to do something with your body that's going to give you such an advantage against other people, then you got to pick either or. What if a female boxer was on gear to change her gender? Would it be okay if she fought other natural female boxers? Absolutely not. She'd beat the shit out of everybody in her division. If the Patriots were all on trend, like a fucking group project or whatever, they're all shooting their ass in the locker room, whatever, and the Falcons weren't, do you have any idea how many people would be up in arms? Half the country. That's who. I mean, that's kind of different, but at the same time, the concept is the same. I mean, who really knows? Maybe she recognizes the loophole in the system and is taking advantage of it. I'm not saying she is, and I'm not accusing her of anything, but only she knows her intentions. The thing with steroids is, it's not just the strength and the endurance that could come of using, it's the recovery too. Like, even if she didn't get stronger, which she 100% did, she could have been in there training 2-3 hours a day if she really wanted to, and I'm sure her body would adapt just fine to that. Whereas her other competitors could be confined physically to maybe 60-90 minutes, for example. I'm just stating the possibilities here. I mean, like I said, if she's so against it, why couldn't she just not do it? Like, you can't just have the best of both worlds. Here's some quotes from the parents of her opponents. If you want to play the games, you have to play it fair. I don't care what sex you are. Don't go on the mat with enhancement if my kid can't. Gender issues aside, social issues aside, it comes down simply to enhanced versus not enhanced, and that's why it's bullshit. She's standing there holding her head high like she's the winner. She's not winning, she's cheating. Is it the state's decision? Yes. Does she have an option on what gender she wrestles? No. Does that make wrestling naturals when you're not natural okay? No. It's not equal, it's never going to be equal. There you go. Whether you agree with it or not, the main point and conclusion to this is it's not fucking equal. Set your opinions aside, set your overlook on gender dysphoria aside, look at it objectively. If you think this situation is in the slightest bit equal, and the girl she was wrestling had an equal chance to win as she did, you're simply wrong. Delusional even. On a larger scale, the best natural bodybuilder in the world couldn't hold a candle to Phil Heath. And these high school girls can't hold a candle to this girl on account of the drugs. It's bullshit. Teenagers shouldn't be taking gear. I don't care what gender you think you should be. Teenagers on gear shouldn't be competing against people who aren't on gear. And the state should be smarter about this. I just don't get it. She's 17. She can't buy super glue at the store if she wanted to, but she could be injected with drugs. She started this when she was 15. What 15-year-old on this planet knows what they want to do for the rest of their life? I don't believe in God, so I'm not going to be like, oh, God made you this way, you got to stay this way. But it's like, how perfect do you think the world is? You don't get everything you want. If you're born a woman, you're a woman. If you're born a man, you're a man. I mean, someone's probably going to get upset at me for that, but whatever. Now, I don't ask for likes, I don't ask for comments, I don't ask you to share, I don't even ask you to subscribe. But I gotta pimp my socials one time. But follow me on Instagram, because I post the freshest memes that I find on r/dankmemes. And follow me on Twitter, because I tweet bangers every now and then. But that's all for this. Drive safe, don't drown, and don't try to wrestle any trannies for a state championship this week.